Is Nikola Jokic really a GOAT? When you look up all-time ranking, you see him all over the place. Sometimes top 10, sometimes around 15, sometimes around the 30s, or then sometimes nowadays, you see him in the top 5. So my question, where does Jokic really belong? Could you make a case for one? Let's see. Nikola Jokic might just be one of the most remarkable players in NBA history. Think about it. He wasn't even a first-round pick. The Denver Nuggets snagged him in the second round of the 2014 NBA draft. And ever since, he's proven to be an absolute gem. This guy's career has been nothing short of historic, and it's all backed up by the numbers. Jokic has played 10 seasons for the Nuggets, and his consistency is unbelievable. Across 696 regular season games, he's averaged 21.2 points, 10.8 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. Those numbers alone are enough to turn heads. But what's wild is how efficient he's been while putting up those stats. His career shooting percentages, 55.5 from the field, 35.6 from 3, and 82.6 from the free throw line. Add in a true shooting percentage of 63.5, and it's clear Jokic doesn't waste opportunities. And let's talk about his accolades. He's a 6-time NBA All-Star. That means he's been recognized as one of the best players in the league 6 times. On top of that, he's made the All-NBA team 6 times, including 4 first-team selections. Being named to the All-NBA team means you're among the best of the best at your position, and Jokic has done it repeatedly. But the real crown jewels of his career are his 3 most valuable player awards. He took home MVP honors for the 3 times. Winning MVP even once is a monumental achievement. Doing it 3 times puts him in legendary company. And who knows, it might be 4. And what makes Jokic's rise so unique is his style of play. He's not your typical big man. Sure, he's a powerhouse in the paint, but his game is built on finesse, vision, and basketball IQ. He's basically a point guard in a center's body. Watching him dish out those pinpoint passes is like watching an artist paint a masterpiece. That's why he's averaging 7 assists per game for his career, a number almost unheard of for a center. Now, this season, it's been something else. Jokic has taken his game to an entirely new level. He's averaging 30.9 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 9.9 assists. That's almost a triple-double per game. And his shooting splits are insane. 55.8% from the field, 48.9% from 3, and 79.7% from the line. His true shooting percentage this season, 64.4. That's better than most players dream of achieving, even for one game, let alone an entire season. It's not just about the stats, though. Jokic's impact on the Nuggets is immeasurable. He's the engine that makes the team go. His ability to control the tempo of a game, whether by scoring, rebounding, or creating opportunities for his teammates, is unmatched. He's the definition of a complete player, and he's done it all without relying on elite athleticism. His skill set is proof that basketball IQ and fundamentals can dominate, even at the highest level. Jokic's efficiency is also worth emphasizing, again, because it's just that rare. Shooting over 55% from the field for his career shows he knows how to pick his spots, and his 3-point shooting has improved dramatically, as evidenced by this season's eye-popping 48.9% from beyond the arc. Centers aren't supposed to shoot like that, but Jokic doesn't just shoot. He scores efficiently, creating mismatches and problems for opposing defenses every night. Rebounding, Jokic is a monster on the glass. Averaging double-digit rebounds for his career is impressive enough, but he's not just grabbing easy ones. He's outworking opponents, positioning himself perfectly, and making those rebounds count. And when he gets the ball, he immediately looks to push the pace or make a quick outlet pass. That's where his playmaking comes in, and it's what makes him truly special. A lot of players can grab rebounds or score, but very few can do all of that while orchestrating an offense the way Jokic does. His versatility is mind-boggling. Need him to score? He'll drop 30 on you. Need him to dominate the boards? He'll grab 15 rebounds without breaking a sweat. Need him to set up his teammates? He'll dish out 10 assists like it's nothing. That kind of versatility makes him a matchup nightmare for every team in the league. Jokic's durability and consistency are also underrated aspects of his greatness. Over 10 seasons, he's been a reliable presence for the Nuggets, showing up game after game. That's a big part of why Denver has been able to build a contender around him. Teams can rely on Jokic to deliver night in and night out, and that's invaluable in a league as competitive as the NBA. Another thing that stands out is how Jokic continues to improve. Just when you think he's hit his peak, he adds something new to his game. This season's nearly 50% shooting from 3 is a perfect example. It's like he's constantly evolving, finding ways to stay ahead of the competition. And it's not just about individual growth. His leadership on the court has elevated everyone around him. The Nuggets are contenders because Jokic makes them better. Jokic's rise from a second-round pick to a perennial MVP candidate is a story that doesn't get old. It's a testament to hard work, talent, and an unrelenting drive to be great. And it's not just Nuggets fans who are taking notice. The basketball world knows they're watching something special every time Jokic steps onto the court. It's rare to see a player dominate in so many facets of the game while doing it with such grace and joy. But that's what makes Nikola Jokic one of a kind. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, the Joker. Let's look at some advanced numbers. Nikola Jokic is not just a statistical anomaly. He's a walking blueprint of basketball efficiency and excellence. Let's dive into his advanced stats and why they place him among the all-time greats without question. Starting with player efficiency rating, Jokic ranks number 1 all-time with a PER of 28.21. That's higher than Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, and every other legend in NBA history. PER is a comprehensive stat that measures a player's per-minute performance, and leading this category shows just how impactful Jokic is every single second he's on the floor. True shooting percentage is another area where Jokic dominates. He's ranked 3rd all-time at 63.5%, trailing only Rudy Gobert and DeAndre Jordan, who primarily score via dunks. Jokic's placement here is even more impressive because his scoring arsenal goes far beyond just finishing at the rim. He's a threat from mid-range, deep three-point territory, and the free throw line. That level of versatility with such efficiency is almost unheard of. When it comes to field goal percentage, Jokic is ranked 29th all-time, but there's a major caveat. Nearly everyone ahead of him on that list either exclusively dunks or plays in limited offensive roles. Jokic, meanwhile, carries the weight of being the offensive hub for Denver, making his efficiency even more staggering. 2-point percentage adds another layer to Jokic's dominance. He's 9th all-time in this category at 60.7%. The players ahead of him, almost all, are traditional big men who thrive off lob passes and putback. Jokic, on the other hand, is creating his own shots, using footwork and finesse that most centers can only dream of. In effective field goal percentage, which adjusts for the value of three-pointers, Jokic is ranked 11th all-time. Again, most players above him are role players or finishers near the basket. Jokic's ability to hit jumpers, threes, and score in the post while maintaining such efficiency is what separates him from the pack. Now, let's talk about rebounding. Defensive rebound percentage measures the percentage of available defensive rebounds a player grabs while on the court. Jokic ranks 11th all-time at 28.56%, ahead of legends like Dennis Rodman and Dwight Howard. Overall, he's 15th in total rebound percentage, meaning he's elite at controlling the glass on both ends. What's even crazier is Jokic's assist percentage. He's ranked 25th all-time in this stat, which calculates the percentage of teammates' field goals a player assists while on the court. The kicker? The top 24 are all point guards. Jokic is redefining what it means to be a playmaking big man. His court vision rivals the best guards in history, and his ability to thread passes from anywhere on the court is mesmerizing. Despite his incredible usage as Denver's offensive centerpiece, Jokic ranks 47th in usage percentage. That means he's not ball dominant in the way most superstars are. Instead, he finds ways to make the game flow naturally through him, making his impact even more impressive. Offensive rating, which measures points produced per 100 possessions, is another category where Jokic shines. He's 4th all-time, further proof that his efficiency directly translates to his team's success. His ability to score, pass, and rebound all contribute to an elite offensive impact that's hard to match. Box plus minus is arguably one of the most comprehensive advanced stats, measuring a player's overall impact on their team in points per 100 possessions. Jokic ranks 1st all-time with a BPM of 10.02. That's higher than Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Magic Johnson. His combination of offensive and defensive impact is simply unparalleled. Speaking of offensive box plus minus, which isolates a player's offensive contribution, Jokic is 2nd all-time at 7.11, just behind Michael Jordan. This underscores his historic ability to elevate his team's offense every time he's on the court. And let's not ignore defensive box plus minus, where Jokic is ranked 3rd all-time at 2.91. This stat might surprise some people because he's not a traditional shot blocker. but it reflects his ability to read the game, position himself effectively, and disrupt opponents in ways that don't always show up in highlight reels. These advanced stats paint a clear picture. Jokic isn't just great in one or two areas. He's elite across the board, whether it's scoring, efficiency, rebounding, playmaking, or overall impact. He excels at a level that's rarely, if ever, been seen before. What makes this even more special is how he's doing it in an era filled with incredible talent and competition. His numbers aren't inflated by a weaker league. They're a testament to his unique skill set and basketball IQ. I want to talk about this though. Nikola Jokic has sparked yet another debate, this time thanks to Hoops Hype's recent list ranking the greatest international basketball players of all time. The list was stacked with legends, but Jokic's placement at number 4 had people questioning whether he should have been ranked higher, possibly even ahead of icons like Dirk Nowitzki and Hakeem. Let's unpack the list, discuss the players included, and explore why this ranking turned out to be so controversial. The list kicks off at number 5 with Steve Nash, a name that immediately evokes memories of pure basketball artistry. Nash is a 2-time MVP winner and one of the greatest passers in NBA history. His incredible basketball IQ and elite shooting made him the engine of some of the most efficient offenses the league has ever seen. He ranks 5th all-time in assists, which is a testament to his ability to elevate the players around him. However, his lack of a championship and relatively average defensive impact have always been points of contention in his legacy. While Nash was undeniably brilliant, some fans argue that others on the list, like Jokic, have already surpassed him in terms of overall impact. At number 4 sits Nikola Jokic, the man at the center of this entire debate. With 3 MVPs, 1 NBA title, and a finals MVP under his belt, Jokic is quickly building a resume that could rival anyone on this list. His ability to dominate games with scoring, rebounding, and playmaking sets him apart from every other center in NBA history. Jokic's offensive versatility makes him the rare kind of player you can build an entire franchise around, and his skill level ensures that his impact isn't tied to his athleticism. The argument for Jokic being ranked higher is bolstered by the fact that his peak performance, if he has even reached it yet, arguably rivals or surpasses the primes of other legends on this list. Number 3 goes to Giannis, a 2-time MVP and 1-time champion who has taken the league by storm with his physical dominance. Giannis has an incredible mix of length, speed, and power, making him almost impossible to stop when he gets into the paint. He also excels on defense, as evidenced by his Defensive Player of the Year award and 4 all-defensive first-team selections. At only 29 years old, Giannis already has a championship and a finals MVP to his name, but his struggles with shooting and lack of consistent international success with the Greek national team leave some room for debate. Jokic supporters argue that his all-around game, efficiency, and ability to elevate his teammates give him the edge. Coming in at number 2 is Dirk Nowitzki, a player whose name is synonymous with offensive brilliance and longevity. Dirk was the first European player to win NBA MVP and led the Dallas Mavericks to an unforgettable championship in 2011, earning Finals MVP in the process. His unique shooting ability as a 7-footer revolutionized the game and proved that big men could dominate from the perimeter. Dirk's loyalty to Dallas and his consistent production over more than 2 decades earned him a place among the NBA's all-time greats. However, some Jokic fans believe that the Serbian superstar's 3 MVPs and his ability to affect the game in multiple ways make him more deserving of the number 2 spot. Finally, at number 1, we have Hakeem. Known as the Dream, Hakeem is widely regarded as one of the most complete players in NBA history. With 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, 1 regular season MVP, and 12 All-Star selections, Hakeem's resume is as decorated as it gets. His footwork in the post remains unmatched, and his defensive prowess is legendary. He's the NBA's all-time leader in blocks and ranks 10th in steals, an incredible feat for a center. Hakeem's dominance on both ends of the court makes him a deserving choice for the top spot. However, Jokic's supporters argue that his offensive versatility and impact on team success at such an early stage of his career could eventually make him a legitimate contender for the number 1 position. But the controversy surrounding Jokic's placement stems from how people evaluate greatness. Fans and analysts alike weigh different criteria, including individual accolades, team success, skill sets, and overall impact on the game. Jokic's career trajectory has been nothing short of spectacular, and many believe his current level of play should have earned him a higher spot on this list. When it comes to Dirk, the debate becomes one of peak versus longevity. Dirk played 21 seasons in the NBA, building an incredible career that included over 31,000 points, the sixth most in league history. His championship run with Dallas is the stuff of legends, especially considering he did it without another superstar by his side. However, Jokic has already matched Dirk's MVP total and added a Finals MVP to his resume. If Jokic continues at his current pace, it's hard to argue that he won't surpass Dirk eventually. The most contentious comparison is between Jokic and Hakeem. While Hakeem's 2 championships and unparalleled defensive impact make him a tough player to dethrone, Jokic's supporters believe his offensive brilliance gives him a legitimate case. Jokic's ability to control the game as both a scorer and a facilitator is unmatched by any other center in NBA history. His peak efficiency and impact on Denver's success have been historic, even if his career hasn't yet reached the longevity of Hakeem. But one of the most exciting aspects of this debate is how it highlights the growth of international basketball. A generation ago, it was rare for international players to dominate the NBA. Now, players like Jokic, Giannis, and Luka Doncic are redefining what it means to be a global superstar. This list serves as a testament to the incredible talent that has emerged from around the world and the unique styles of play that these players bring to the game. Hakeem's placement at number 1 speaks to the trailblazing role he played as one of the first international superstars. Dirk's career showcased the skill and finesse that European players could bring to the league. Giannis has redefined athleticism and versatility, while Jokic has proven that basketball IQ and skill can dominate just as much as physicality. Each player on this list has contributed to the evolution of the game in their own way, making these debates all the more meaningful. As Jokic continues his career, his place on this list will likely change. If he adds more championships and MVPs to his resume, the case for him surpassing Dirk and even Hakeem will become stronger. Jokic's ability to impact the game in so many ways makes him a once-in-a-generation talent, and it's hard to imagine him not climbing higher as his career progresses. This list and the debates it has sparked are a reminder of how special this era of basketball truly is. Watching players like Jokic, Giannis, and Luka dominate while honoring the legacies of legends like Hakeem, Dirk, and Nash is a privilege for fans. Whether you agree with Jokic's placement or not, there's no denying that he's already cemented himself as one of the greatest international players in NBA history. And the best part, he's just getting started. But to continue climbing the GOAT ranking, Jokic will need to win MVP this season. Nikola Jokic is on the verge of accomplishing something that would put him in elite company in NBA history, winning his 4th MVP award in 5 seasons. This achievement has only been accomplished by 2 legends before him, LeBron James and Bill Russell. Kareem and Michael Jordan also won 4 MVPs, though not in such a tight window, highlighting just how rare and significant this feat would be. Adding a 4th MVP would further cement Jokic's legacy as one of the greatest to ever play the game and give him an even stronger case to climb the all-time rankings. Winning 4 MVPs in 5 years is an incredibly exclusive club. LeBron James did it between 2009 and 2013 during his prime, while Bill Russell dominated the late 1950s and early 1960s. Kareem needed 6 years to get his 4th, and Michael Jordan took 8 years during his dominant run. If Jokic pulls it off, he'll not only join this historic group, but also stand as one of the most impactful players the league has ever seen. What makes Jokic's case for MVP so strong this season is his undeniable impact on the Denver Nuggets. According to Brian Windhorst, the Nuggets are 31 points per 100 possessions, better on offense when Jokic is on the floor compared to when he's off. Let that sink in for a moment. 31 points. That level of impact is almost unheard of and far surpasses even the peak offensive influence of LeBron James during his MVP runs. When you look at how Denver relies on Jokic to initiate, facilitate, and dominate, it's no wonder he's in contention for his 4th MVP. Jokic currently leads the league in touches per game at 115.8, which is remarkable considering he isn't a point guard. Among the top players in this category, only Giannis and Jalen Johnson aren't traditional guards. This stat underscores how much of the Nuggets' offense flows directly through Jokic. Without him, the team struggles with rebounding, offensive fluidity, and scoring. This dependency on Jokic doesn't just highlight his value, It showcases his ability to elevate an entire franchise. If Jokic secures his 4th MVP, it would also place him alongside other legendary names like Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem. These are players whose dominance defined their respective eras. Jokic is already being compared to these greats due to his unique combination of scoring, rebounding, and playmaking. Adding a 4th MVP would only make these comparisons stronger and push him further up the all-time ranks. One of the more interesting narratives this season is the competition Jokic faces for the MVP award. Giannis, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are all putting up impressive numbers. Giannis leads the league in scoring with 32.1 points per game, but the Bucks' struggles in the standings may hurt his case. Luka's production has dipped slightly, while Tatum and Shai are leading strong campaigns for their respective teams. Even with this competition, Jokic's dominance and the Nuggets' reliance on him make him the clear frontrunner in many people's eyes. Statistically, Jokic is doing things this season that are mind-boggling. He's averaging more points than Shaquille O'Neal in his prime, more rebounds than Tim Duncan in his prime, and more assists than Derrick Rose in his MVP season. Let that sink in. Nobody has ever combined production like this before, and it's happening in a league filled with incredible talent. These numbers don't just make Jokic a strong MVP candidate, they put him in a category all his own. Winning a 4th MVP would also force people to reevaluate Jokic's place in NBA history. Players with 4 MVPs are automatically part of the conversation for the greatest of all time. It would mean Jokic has not only been consistently great, but also that his peak dominance rivals the best stretches of any player in league history. For someone who entered the NBA as a 2nd-round pick, this kind of rise is nothing short of extraordinary. Adding a 4th MVP would also shift the narrative about international players. Jokic is already one of the greatest international stars ever, and joining the 4 MVP club would solidify his position among players like Hakeem, Dirk Nowitzki, and Giannis. It would also show just how much the game has evolved globally, with players from all over the world dominating the league in ways that were unthinkable a few decades ago. It's also worth noting how well Jokic's game is likely to age. His lack of reliance on athleticism means he could continue to dominate for years to come, much like Tim Duncan did in his later years. If Jokic wins his 4th MVP this season, it could be the start of an even longer stretch of excellence that further cements his place in NBA history. In terms of team success, Jokic's ability to lead the Nuggets has been remarkable. While the Nuggets aren't currently at the very top of the Western Conference standings, their winning record and reliance on Jokic make his case for MVP even stronger. The fact that the team struggles significantly without him only highlights just how valuable he is. It's one thing to be a great player, it's another to be so essential that your team's entire identity is built around you. The historical comparisons also add weight to Jokic's case. When you look at the other players who have won 4 MVPs, they all share a common trait: their ability to dominate in multiple facets of the game. Whether it's Kareem's scoring and rebounding, Jordan's scoring and defense, or LeBron's all-around brilliance, these players shape their eras. Jokic fits that mold perfectly, with his ability to impact the game as a scorer, passer, and rebounder. Winning a 4th MVP would only strengthen his claim to being the defining player of this generation. Jokic's place in NBA history is already secure, but a 4th MVP would elevate him to an entirely different level. It would make him one of only 6 players in league history to reach that milestone and put him in conversations reserved for the absolute greatest. For fans of the game, watching Jokic continue to rewrite the record books is a privilege, and if he adds another MVP to his resume, his legacy will only grow stronger. Let's talk about his peak though, and how it compares to other peaks. Nikola Jokic's peak this season is turning heads in ways that make even the most die-hard basketball fans stop and say, wait a second, is this one of the greatest peaks ever? It's a question worth diving into, especially when you stack up Jokic's current performance against the legendary peaks of LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Let's get into the numbers, the context, and just how insane Jokic's peak truly is. Jokic is absolutely lighting it up. He's leading in rebounds, 2nd in points, and 2nd in assists, all while shooting an absurd 56.1% from the field, 50% from 3, and 80.9% from the free throw line. That's not just MVP worthy, that's let's rewrite history books territory. Now, compare that to LeBron James at his peak. LeBron averaged 26.8 points, 8 rebounds, and 7.3 assists, while shooting 56.5% from the field. Impressive? Absolutely. But Jokic is outpacing LeBron in all three major categories: points, rebounds, and assists, while maintaining similar efficiency. And Michael Jordan, at his peak, he averaged 30 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 4.3 assists, while shooting 50.9% from the field. Scoring-wise, Jordan was unmatched, but Jokic is right there with him, while doubling Jordan's rebounds and more than doubling his assists. That's not a small gap. That's a chasm. What sets Jokic apart is his efficiency. His effective field goal percentage this season is a staggering 61.2%. Compare that to LeBron's 52.5% at his peak and Jordan's 60%. Jokic is edging out both legends in a stat that emphasizes shot quality and scoring efficiency. He's not just scoring a lot, he's scoring in ways that maximize every possession. And the advanced stats? Jokic's box plus minus is sitting at an absurd 13.8. For context, Jordan's was 11.7 and LeBron's was 10.5. BPM measures a player's overall impact on a game, and Jokic is in another universe right now. It's not even close. This is where things get really interesting. Jokic is carrying the Denver Nuggets in ways that LeBron and Jordan didn't have to at their peaks. Jokic's most common lineup includes players like Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., both of whom are solid but not close to the level of the teammates LeBron and Jordan had. LeBron, at his peak, played alongside Dwyane Wade and Chris Bosh, two Hall of Famers who could take over games themselves. Wade was an MVP candidate and an All-NBA player, while Bosh was an All-Star and a consistent second or third option. Jordan had Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, both of whom were elite in their own rights. Pippen was an MVP candidate and arguably the best two-way player in the league after Jordan, while Rodman was a rebounding machine and a defensive anchor. That kind of support allowed Jordan to focus on what he did best, scoring and leading. Jokic doesn't have that luxury. His team lacks the kind of depth and star power that LeBron and Jordan had. Nobody on the Nuggets is in the MVP conversation, and while Murray and Porter Jr. are great, they're not Wade or Pippen. This makes Jokic's numbers even more impressive because he's essentially doing it all himself. Jokic's player efficiency rating this season is an absurd 33.3, which is higher than both LeBron and Jordan at their peaks. LeBron posted a PR of 31.6 and Jordan's was 29.4. PER is a stat that encapsulates everything a player does, and Jokic is blowing past the competition. Assist percentage is another area where Jokic stands out. His 46.4 assist percentage is off the charts, especially for a center. LeBron, at his peak, had an assist percentage of 36.4, while Jordan's was 21.2. Jokic is essentially running the Nuggets offense like a point guard, while still putting up big man numbers. It's ridiculous. Steal percentage is also worth noting. Jokic's 3.1 matches Jordan's at his peak and is higher than LeBron's 2.4. This shows that Jokic isn't just dominating offensively, he's active on defense as well, disrupting plays and contributing in ways that go beyond scoring and passing. When you look at Jokic's peak in the context of NBA history, it's clear he's doing things that haven't been done before. Centers aren't supposed to lead their teams in assists. They're not supposed to shoot 50% from three, and they're definitely not supposed to have the kind of overall impact Jokic is having. LeBron and Jordan were dominant in their own ways. LeBron's peak was defined by his athleticism and versatility, while Jordan's was about scoring and killer instinct. Jokic combines elements of both, but adds his own twist with his passing and efficiency. He's creating a new template for what a superstar can be. Winning MVP at this level of dominance could elevate Jokic to a new stratosphere in terms of all-time rankings. LeBron's peak solidified him as one of the greatest players ever, and Jordan's peak is often cited as the greatest season in NBA history. If Jokic can maintain this level of play and add another MVP to his resume, it's hard to keep him out of those same conversations. The big difference is the narrative. LeBron and Jordan were larger-than-life figures, dominating the league both on and off the court. Jokic is quieter, more unassuming, but no less impactful. His game does the talking, and it's speaking volumes. When you compare Jokic's peak to those of LeBron and Jordan, the numbers don't lie. Jokic is right there with them, if not ahead in some categories. His combination of scoring, rebounding, passing, and efficiency makes him one of the most well-rounded players the league has ever seen. And when you factor in his lack of a star-studded supporting cast, his achievements become even more impressive. Jokic isn't just having a great season, he's redefining what a peak looks like. Whether or not he surpasses LeBron and Jordan in the minds of fans and analysts, one thing is certain, he's earned his place in the conversation. And with the way he's playing, he might not be done climbing the ranks just yet. And for Jokic, this season, the numbers just keep on going. Nikola Jokic is crafting one of the most remarkable seasons in NBA history. His combination of scoring, efficiency, rebounding, and playmaking isn't just good, it's groundbreaking. Let's take a closer look at just how incredible Jokic has been this season and why his numbers are putting him in the conversation for one of the best campaigns ever. First, let's talk about his scoring efficiency. Jokic is averaging over 25 points per game while maintaining a true shooting percentage north of 62%. That level of efficiency is elite, placing him in a small group of players this season that includes superstars like Giannis, Damian Lillard, and Kevin Durant. However, what sets Jokic apart is the way he's scoring. He isn't relying on sheer athleticism or overpowering defenders. Instead, he's dissecting defenses with his unmatched skill, timing, and shot selection. He's making every possession count. Then there's the playmaking, and this is where Jokic separates himself from the pack. He's averaging an eye-popping 9.9 assists per game, which is not only the highest among centers this season, but also the highest assist per game mark by a center in NBA history. Yes, you read that right, history. The only two marks even close are also held by Jokic in past seasons. His 40% assist rate means that nearly half of the Nuggets made baskets when he's on the floor come directly from his passes. That's unheard of for a center and underscores how much of Denver's offense revolves around him. Jokic's impact as a playmaker doesn't stop there. He's creating 23.3 points per game for his teammates purely through his assists. That's more than what many starting point guards in the league generate. His ability to see plays before they happen and deliver passes with pinpoint accuracy makes him not only the engine of Denver's offense, but also one of the most dynamic offensive players in the league, regardless of position. Let's dive into his efficiency in pick and roll situations. Jokic leads the NBA in points per possession as the roll man, scoring an absurd 1.41 points per possession. This isn't just elite, it's on a level all its own. Whether he's rolling to the rim or popping out for a jumper, defenses have no answer. His ability to read the defense and execute the right move at the right time has made him the most efficient pick and roll player in the game this season. Now let's talk about his triple-doubles. Jokic leads the league with 9 triple-doubles so far, ahead of stars like LeBron James and Cade Cunningham. But these triple-doubles aren't just empty stats. They directly contribute to winning basketball. The Nuggets are thriving when Jokic is on the floor, posting a net rating of plus 11.1 with him in the lineup. That kind of impact is extraordinary and highlights just how much he does for his team in every aspect of the game. Speaking of his impact, the Nuggets' on-off numbers with Jokic are jaw-dropping. The team is 14.6 points better per 100 possessions when he's on the floor compared to when he's off. That figure places him ahead of 98% of players in the league. It's a testament to how irreplaceable he is for Denver. His ability to elevate the team's performance on both ends of the court is unmatched. Jokic's rebounding is another crucial part of his game. He's pulling down 13.3 rebounds per game, which ranks among the league leaders. He's dominant on both ends of the glass, averaging 9.5 defensive rebounds and 3.8 offensive rebounds per game. His rebounding numbers are better than 98% of players in the NBA, giving Denver second-chance opportunities and preventing opponents from getting extra possessions. Controlling the boards is one of the many ways Jokic helps dictate the flow of the game. From a broader perspective, Jokic's offensive rating this season is an astronomical 124.8. That means every possession involving Jokic is producing points at an elite level. His defensive rating sits at 113.7, which is solid, especially considering his heavy offensive workload. The combination of those numbers gives him a net rating of plus 11.1, one of the best in the league. Mixed teamwork metrics further emphasize Jokic's dominance. These stats measure how much a player's presence positively impacts their team compared to others around the league. Jokic's metrics place him in the top 3% of all players. He's consistently helping the Nuggets generate a positive margin in games, as evidenced by the fact that they have a winning percentage of 66.7 in games where they've trailed by 9 or 10 points with 4 minutes left. For comparison, the rest of the NBA has a 0% success rate in similar situations. That's not just clutch, it's transcendent. Jokic's consistency is another standout feature of his season. He has a positive plus-minus in 71.4% of his games so far. That level of reliability is invaluable for a team that depends on him to set the tone every single night. Whether it's scoring, assisting, or rebounding, Jokic delivers at an elite level game after game. His advanced stats make his case even stronger. Jokic's player efficiency rating is a staggering 33.3, a number that not only leads the league, but is also one of the highest in NBA history. PR captures a player's overall impact on the game, and Jokic's score shows just how dominant he's been in every facet of the game. He's doing things that no one else in the league or history is doing right now. Assist percentage is another area where Jokic shines. His 46.4% assist rate is second in the NBA this season and miles ahead of any other center. He's essentially running the Nuggets offense like a point guard, but with the added responsibilities of being a dominant scorer and rebound. His ability to blend these roles seamlessly is what makes him so unique. Even defensively, Jokic is making his presence felt. His steal percentage this season is 3.1, placing him among the league leaders in that category. It's rare to see a center with such active hands and defensive awareness, and it adds another layer to his already incredible impact. When you take a step back and look at the totality of Jokic's season, it's clear he's doing something extraordinary. He's combining historic efficiency, elite playmaking, dominant rebounding, and unparalleled impact on team success. The numbers speak for themselves, but they only tell part of the story. Watching Jokic play this season is like watching a basketball savant at work. He's controlling every aspect of the game and making it look effortless. What's even more impressive is how Jokic's dominance is elevating the entire Nuggets roster. Denver isn't loaded with multiple superstars, but they're thriving because of Jokic's ability to make everyone around him better. His court vision, basketball IQ, and selfless style of play create opportunities for his teammates that wouldn't exist otherwise. Nikola Jokic is having a season for the ages. His scoring, efficiency, playmaking, and rebounding are all at historic level. His advanced stats place him among the greatest to ever play the game, and his impact on the Nuggets is undeniable. Jokic isn't just putting up incredible numbers, he's redefining what it means to dominate in today's NBA. If he keeps this up, there's no question he'll go down as one of the greatest players of his era. Watching him play this season has been a privilege, and it's clear we're witnessing something truly special. Overall, though, Nikola Jokic is already solidifying his place as one of the greatest players the game has ever seen. What he's accomplishing right now isn't just impressive, it's unprecedented. His combination of scoring, rebounding, passing, and efficiency has redefined what it means to dominate in basketball. It's rare to see a player control every aspect of the game the way Jokic does, and it's even rarer for someone to do it so effortlessly. He's making history every night and setting a new standard for what a big man can be. But here's the thing, it's still early in his career. Comparing Jokic to legends like Michael Jordan and LeBron James feels strange because their stories have already been written. They've had the luxury of time to build their legacies, while Jokic is still very much in the middle of his. There's a lot of basketball left for him to play and a lot of chapters left to be written. It's exciting to think about what he might accomplish when all is said and done. That being said, if Jokic wins his 4th MVP this year, it will be impossible to deny his place in any all-time conversation. A 4th MVP puts him in the rarest of company, names like Kareem, Bill Russell, and LeBron James. At that point, it's not just about comparing stats or titles. It's about recognizing that Jokic is already altering the way the game is played and how players are evaluated. A 4th MVP would mean more than another trophy. It would cement his legacy as a generational talent, someone whose impact goes beyond numbers and transcends eras. Right now, Jokic is creating something special. His legacy is growing, his dominance is undeniable, and his trajectory points toward all-time greatness. Whether or not he wins a 4th MVP, he's already proven that he belongs in the conversation as one of the best players to ever do it. And if that 4th MVP does come this year, there's no argument left. Jokic will have arrived, and his name will forever stand alongside the giants of the game. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during the season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.